Hi, my friends. We're going to end the day today with a book called IBIS, A True Whale Story by John Himmelman. Okay, find a comfy place, get a pillow, blanket. Maybe you're sitting in a chair. All right, guys, here we go. Deep in a bay off the coast of an old fishing village lived a pod of humpback whales. And a pod is what we call a group of whales. Oh, what's that whale doing? Do you remember? Spy hopping. One of the whales with a little calf was a little calf, and its name was IBIS. IBIS was curious about everything in the ocean. One day, she and her friend Blizzard went out swimming. They saw some kinds of fish. The most interesting were the starfish. IBIS likes to look at them, but we know starfish aren't fish, right? That's why I call them sea stars, so I don't get confused. There was something about their shape that made her feel good. See the sea stars? As IBIS and Blizzard were drifting over a reef, they heard a strange humming noise. The two calves looked up to see something large and dark pass overhead. It was as big as a whale, but it wasn't a whale. What is it, friends? Yeah, some kind of boat. It reminds me of a scene in Finding Nemo when he went up to touch the boat. The calves were frightened. They had never seen a boat before. They swam back to their mommies. The next day, IBIS went back to the reef. It wasn't long before another boat came along. Again, IBIS was scared, but she was still curious, too. She forced herself to swim up to the surface. In the cool, hazy air, she saw several faces watching her. They didn't look scary. In fact, they looked very friendly. IBIS liked them. Remember what that's called? Spy hopping. Isn't that a fantastic name? Spy hopping. I just love saying that, those two words. Okay, here we go. In the months that followed, IBIS and her friends lost their fear of boats. Boats came in many sizes and shapes, and the people in them always seemed to enjoy seeing the little whales. As IBIS grew up, she learned more and more about the sea. She knew what kinds of sharks to stay away from, what food was the tastiest, and best of all, where to find the most dazzling, I'm going to say sea star, not starfish. IBIS never got tired of looking at a sea star. By the way, my friends, sharks are fish, not whales. Just in case, that would be a good question, too, to ask next time for 10 questions. People and their boats became a part of their life. Whenever a boat passed overhead, she swam to the top to say hello. Spy hopping. One evening, IBIS and Blizzard saw a school of fish swimming around the bottom of the ship. Maybe there was something good up there to eat, so they went to find out. See the boat and see all the school of fish at the top? Blizzard swam off to find help. IBIS was confused and hurt. She wanted to get away, far away from people and their boats and nets. Slowly and painfully, she made her way towards the deep ocean. Many weeks passed, and IBIS grew very ill. The net in her mouth made it hard for her to eat, and every time she went to the surface for air, the net cut into her tail. But if she didn't get air every half hour, she would die. Every 30 minutes, my friends, whales need to come up to the surface. It's about how long our recess is. And so if they don't, they can't just swim in the water all day long like fish. Instead, she turned back toward the coast. It was so hard for her to swim, she could barely keep moving. IBIS was about to give up. Then she saw a familiar shape. It was her friend. Who? Do you remember the name? It starts with a B. You got it. Blizzard. And there's a little, looks like a little sea turtle in the background. Blizzard saw that IBIS needed help. Gently, Blizzard pushed her to the surface so she could breathe. You guys, this is a true story. Look it. One friend helping another, just like you would do if your friend was in trouble. Look at that. Suddenly, the water was filled with the sounds of boat engines. The whales saw two small rafts and a boat circling them. Blizzard and Ibis tried to get away fast, but Ibis wasn't quick enough. The boats rushed toward her before she could dive. Do you think maybe those people are trying to help, guys? The people in the boats began to attach large floats to the pieces of net that were hurting Ibis. Blizzard stayed nearby, circling the boats nervously. What do you think? Do you think those people are going to help? I sure think so. That would be the right thing to do, wouldn't it, friends? Because of the floats, Ibis could not dive. She began to panic, but she did not have the strength to fight. When the boats came in closer, a person reached into the water. Ibis stared at the person's hand. The hand reminded her of something she loved very much, and she began to feel better. Oh, look at that. Do you remember in the beginning of the story when humans were kind of like friends to those humpback whales? Soon many hands dipped into the water. Ibis felt them tugging at the lines of the net. Moments later, the lines fell away and she was free. Ibis blew a big spout from her blowhole as if to say, "Thank you, thank you." Then she dived deep into the water. For the first time in many weeks, she felt no pain. She felt wonderful. Blizzard joined her. Then the two whales popped back to the surface for one more look. The people were waving their sea star-shaped hands. Ibis knew the hands had helped out and that the people were still her friends. Soon, Blizzard and Ibis were leaping. What do we call that? Do you remember? Breaching, good, and diving with the other whales far away in the warm waters where they would spend the winter together. And if we remember those humpback whales, whoa, they travel from the Arctic where there's big chunks of ice in the water and the water is so cold, all the way down south to the warm tropical waters. So they are amazing whales who travel far, far distances for food and having their babies. Boys and girls, that will end our whale day today with Teacher Shelley. I look forward to seeing you on Monday. We're going to start reptiles. Lots of science, guys. Science is learning all about the earth and about plants and about animals or space. And this spring, we're going to be studying all kinds of different species of animals and reptiles, marine life, amphibians. It's going to be very exciting. So I'll see you later. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Bye, guys.